So in the first video, we've made sure to completely build the bot. We are now continuing with testing it and making sure that it actually runs in combination with Google Adwords. So I'm going to close the preview again. So here you saw in the previous video how we actually built the first bot, and that if there is no parameter regarding the location found within the URL, that then a generic start of the conversation is taking place. So let's preview that. That's where we left off in the previous video. There is only one parameter here, being the fact that it's the preview mode, and therefore quriobot starts off with saying, "Hi there, I can help you find what you are looking for. Would you like me to do that?" That means that if we change this parameter into location is Amsterdam, and we have two parameters, so for the test, let's say object is, and let's make it now not houses because I've tested that one before, but call it corporate buildings, and we refresh the page, then quriobot is going to check for these two parameters. And I can see you're looking for corporate buildings in Amsterdam. I can help you find one today, ready to start. So with this, we have the proof that the settings, as I've applied them in the advanced conditions, that the conversation in the edit tab, as well as the advanced condition here, is working. So the only thing we need to do now is make sure that the right URL is used within the Google Ads campaign. So to do that, and I've just opened an old account that I still have, is let's say here we have the quriobot ad, and let's edit this one. You need to make sure that the URL that is being used, so not the display URL, but the final URL, contains these parameters. So question mark location is Amsterdam and object is houses. If you make sure that that is in your Google Ads, then these parameters are being pushed along with your applicable URL. And if you have your bot implemented on your website, it will look for these parameters, and the applicable conversation is started. So that means that if you have other campaigns running, let's say on location Amsterdam but object is offices, then this URL needs to be inserted for those ads, etc., etc. So to briefly test this out, because that is basically all that is to it, I will go to the embed code and use the embed snippet right here that I'm copying. And if we put this, and this is the Dutch house searching engine, put it in here in the console. Let's put it in right there. And we can test it. And then you'll see that because there is nothing in this URL available, there is a generic conversation starter going on. If we, however, add the applicable parameters in there, being the location and object is houses, we do it again, then now my embed snippet will be lost. So I need to click inspect again. I hit console, and I add the same embed snippet here. And you will see that the bot will now start running. It will check the parameters, and now it says, I can see you're looking for houses in Amsterdam. I can help you find one. Are you ready to start? So to briefly summarize it, because I can imagine it's a little annoying to have two videos for this one, is step one, in the advanced section, you copy and paste the JavaScript elements and you rename the ones so that they become parameters that are actually useful. Step two is that after you've done that, you add two go-to step types, and you make sure that in each of those, the applicable name of the parameter is corresponding with the one that you've put in the advanced tab. So in my case, it's location and object for the second go-to step, but you can make that everything that you want. Step three on the advanced tab is making sure that you create variables of these parameters so that the bot can use it in the conversation if necessary. And with that, you're basically there. If you have your AdWords running and people are being directed to a specific landing page, you will not need this advanced condition. But if you have a bot running on your website and you do want to have a generic conversation starter for everybody who is not coming from Google AdWords, then you need to make sure that on the first go-to step, you have the advanced condition that reads if this parameter does not contain whatever element you've created. And I've, for this example, only made Amsterdam, but let's say you have other campaigns going for Rotterdam, Paris, London, Hong Kong, etc. Then with that, you've identified the rules on what the bot should do if the parameter is not there. And then a generic conversation starter will take place, and you can start let the user follow a different flow. After, and let's say you do have all of these things set up, the only thing that is remaining is go into your actual AdWords campaign and making sure that the URL contains the parameters as you wanted. So in this case, Amsterdam and offices, but maybe for the next campaign, it's Amsterdam and houses, and the next one is Sydney and buildings, however you want to call it. And with that, you know, and you don't need to change your bot, but you know that you have a relevant conversation starter, like you've seen here. In this case, the corporate buildings in Amsterdam, and in this case, the houses in Amsterdam. I hope this was useful, and I will make sure to have this part in the bottom here available in the description, so you can use it. And I hope that with this you will get as many sales leads as you can handle.